Welcome to Doing It My Way by Beata Matras, a podcast about project and product management, communication, brand, and IT. All these topics will definitely improve and have a positive impact on your career. So join me today, subscribe, and expect a new episode every week. Thank you. I'm thrilled to introduce my guest today, Weronika Jankowska-Tofani. Weronika is a certified leadership coach and the founder of the Women Leadership Academy. With over 14 years of international experience, Weronika has dedicated her career to supporting women managers, executives, founders, and consultants in becoming fulfilled leaders. Her mission is to help women overcome challenges, develop emotional intelligence, and become fulfilled women leaders, mothers, entrepreneurs by finding a good proportion of female and male energy. And today we dive into Weronika's journey, her insights on women's leadership, and the importance of community support in professional growth. Welcome, Weronika.
Thank you, Beata. I'm very happy to be here today with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for accepting my invite. And I'll move to the first question. So, Weronika, you have an impressive career spanning several countries and industries. Can you share some of the key milestones in your career that have significantly shaped your approach to leadership?
I think this international experience and having lived in few European countries have impacted significantly my approach to leadership. I think it made me more sensitive to be inclusive, to be flexible, adaptive, to have a global mindset, to be sensible and to see different perspectives. It impacted definitely my relationships with people and how I connect with them. And obviously the role models that I've had in my career in different countries.
What mindset shifts are crucial for you to succeed as a leadership coach?
If we talk about how I shifted my mindset from being a full-time employee to the founder of a company, it was all about, first of all, believing in the value of what I'm doing. So this helped me a lot to overcome the mindset of, no, I'm unable to do it, into a mindset, yeah, I'm able and I will do it. And then I will try and then I will see what's going to happen. So definitely stop fearing and start doing, and stop fearing emotions. That's the main key thing here. What does that want to say? It's about, in my case, was about not fearing of a failure, not fearing of being refused, not fearing of not having a fit, but simply convert these emotions to feeling motivated, feeling excited, determined, passionate. That's the whole game, and I'm doing it every day, every single day.
Yeah, and that's never ending journey when you start working on yourself and start working on your mindset. You realize that it's not just one off. I just transform it today and it stays like that. Yeah, it's more about, yeah, every day you're waking up and need to remind yourself who you want to become or who you are, and you just not let the fear, become a part of your life and part of your routine, and transform it. I really like that approach because, yeah, I'm also doing that every day. And when we talked for the first time, I remember we touched the topic um, of your experience as the founder of the Women Leadership Academy and also like leadership coach. And what are the primary challenges you see in leadership roles today?
I see a lot of struggle with feeling confident, whether it's female or male. So, kind of self acceptance, um, self confidence, um, anxiety and stress, uh, feeling overwhelmed, maybe. With more senior coaches, there is a lot about how to manage the team, how to motivate the team um, in a good and healthy way, how to create relationships that matter, how to be myself in a very male dominated environment, how to be assertive, how to set boundaries.
That's really insightful what you just said. And what I also heard is that mid-level managers have a problem more with managing themselves, while leaders, when they learned how to manage themselves and their fears and their kind of emotions, they are moving to the topic of managing the relationships with others rather than focusing only on themselves. Um, yeah, that's interesting and just came to my mind.
I have to admit that the emotions topic is valid across all grades and all different ages. So there is, basically speaking, emotion management is a topic for everybody, whether it's a very senior executive or it's a brand new employee. They all struggle with emotions because at the end, in my coaching and what I do, it's a lot about management of emotions and how those emotions are impacting our actions. So when somebody comes, he or she usually are saying, okay, I feel anxious, I'm lacking self-confidence, I feel uncomfortable, I feel stressed now. So it's all about emotions, and they don't know where these feelings are coming from or how to manage them, how to self-regulate.
Yeah, it's about first understanding what they are coming from, but sometimes it's not enough. Then you have to like know how to deal with those emotions. Yeah, and that's the difficult part because you actually need to like look for different means of self-regulation, and the healthier they are, the better. Yeah, which is not always so easy to change. Um, yeah, and are there
Still,
any?
if I can add something,
Yeah,
it's all
sure.
about a mix of emotions, and I'm not teaching to get rid of the negative ones. It's about accepting the negative ones and simply not stay in those for too much time. So, and this is what is really a golden Bible for the coaching, how we can accept the fact that we are allowed to have negative emotions, but not to stay in those for days or months, but just to, convert them to the ones that serves us best. So this is what I mainly do.
But actually, I wanted to ask about one more thing about emotions. What's because you mentioned the negative emotions and the positive ones, and I know that emotions are emotions. We need to like accept all the emotions because they are equally valuable. But on the other hand, there is something scaring people in feeling emotions. Like there is almost this. Um, Interesting connotation, I would say, that if you feel emotions, you have to act according to those, which is not true. You can feel them and in the same moment just let them go.
True. It's very true. I believe you you have a choice. So you can feel an emotion and act upon an emotion. So for example, I feel mm, motivated, and so I'm having this interview with Beata. Or I feel fear and I don't. It's my choice. Or I feel fear And anyway, I will do it. So it's a choice we're having. So the beauty is to identify what you feel and then to choose, is this emotion serving me? And what is the action I usually do when I feel this emotion? And is it the action that helps me to reach my goals or not? I'm not um, I'm not helping clients to get rid of emotions, to run away from them, because what we fear, Beata, is the fact that we are not used to feel those emotions because we are usually running away from them. So if we were usually running away from being sad, maybe being angry, uh, being refused, being abandoned, being betrayed, and so on, we do not know how to behave when we feel those.
But I also wanted to ask about the differences between male and female leaders. Are there any differences?
My perception might not reflect the reality because 80 to 90% of my clients are female. And the male who come to me tends to come with the similar challenges as women. But one of the difference that you just mentioned, by the way, is this thought I'm alone, which I find often with my female clients. I'm alone. I can count only on myself. There's nobody else to help me. This is often the difference. I haven't seen this kind of challenge among male clients. And it's also a thought, it's also a mindset, and it often comes from, it's connected with being independent, willing to be independent, being ambitious, and willing also to have, being perfectionist, willing to have a lot under control. So there are different concepts which can be merged to one bucket. So in terms of your question, the differences between female and male, definitely women tend to question more, tend to question a lot more than men, but still a lot of them come to me with lack of self-confidence. And I have also male clients which come to me in terms of this. So I believe culturally speaking, and from the education the women got, women tend to challenge and question themselves more, and also because of the expectations that the society put on them. And therefore, their feeling of self-confidence, self-worth is more challenged, more questioned. And this is why I see more work towards this. In terms of emotions, it's the same. Whether it's a man or a woman, it's simply that it's a different set of emotions we need to tackle. But the self-confidence topic, I definitely see deeper among women.
And how do you support women or men in business to overcome these unique challenges they encounter in their careers?
So when we take an example of self-confidence, it's I created the proprietary program where I first tackled the limiting beliefs. So it's all about the negative thoughts and the mindset shifts and being aware of those. Then I help them to create the self-confidence and self-acceptance, thanks to emotions management, among others, thanks to decision making, thanks to setting boundaries, thanks to being accountable and having an agency over their life. I also work with them about their assertiveness and relationships they have with themselves and with other people. I help them to access their inner selves. I often use techniques of visualization and cognitive behavioral therapy, where they really have an opportunity to listen more to their heart and their intuition and less to their rational part. And that is often the topic among the very ambitious and successful women, that they've been basing majority of their career on the male energy and on um, um, the rational, intellectual part, and they haven't really been taking care of their irrational, intuitive part. So this is what we do, and this is how we tackle these challenges. So it's a lot about mindset shift and emotion shift, change perspectives, and accepting yourself the way you are, with the best and the worst.
And that's very interesting what you said about male and female energy in the context of leadership and business. Because very often, I think we are not talking about it in this kind of way and approach it in that way. We usually try to think more in a kind of rational way of, do I succeed? Do I win? Do I lose? But there is this kind of piece of energy which is more like female and male. And can you explain this concept in more depth?
So the male energy, it's all about the goal setting, goal achieving, deadlines, decisiveness, making decisions, being assertive, being competitive. This is all what the male energy is about. While the female energy is about more about creativity, intuition, empathy, relationships, vulnerability. This is so the female energy is about how you can connect with yourself and with others. It's more internal. Why the male energy is more external, how you can achieve. How you can achieve. And to me, the key is to balance them both. So what have helped me to reach my career was mainly the male energy. And I've gone throughout all of my years thanks to the male energy. I was very focused, target-oriented, task-oriented, objective-oriented, achievement, competition. And these are the energies that helps you to go forward, to accelerate, to achieve, to make KPIs, meet the KPIs. And then the female energy is kind of abandoned in the business world, as you just mentioned, and often perceived as the weak one. However, across the years, there have been the business also realized that the female energy is the positive one, and the female leadership is the one which also helps to create the bonds, helps to unite the people, helps to lead the people, develop them, listen to them, communicate in a different way. So the mix of those two, I believe, is the one that makes things happen in a very healthy way. And each of us needs a different mix, a different balance. And depending on the day, depending on the year, we simply play with different energies. And the whole key is to understand which energy serves you the best.
So it's not like we are every day 50-50 between like women, between female and male energy. It's like changes, according to our needs, according to, to our needs, and it kind of also the environment, I would say.
A lot. The environment impacts, the people around us impacts. And I would say also the emotions in the female energy are a bit different than in the male energy, and these energies are triggered by the emotions. So, for example, the female energy, when I'm in the female energy, I rather feel at peace. I feel connected to myself. I feel trusted. I feel empathetic. I feel curious, creative. I might feel love. When I'm in the male energy, I might feel determined, motivated. I might feel excited, ambitious. These are the energies. I might feel competitive. I might feel challenged. I might feel, those are the examples. So there are different emotions and different energies, and therefore we need to understand which emotions helps us to reach the goals we want to reach. If you use a lot of male energy at home with your kids, it might not bring you the good result that you expect. So, but obviously, it's not only about using the female energy; it's about balancing both of them in different surroundings.
Yeah, but I think it's, because of the kind of society, the kind of expectations that are put on us as female and for leaders, for example, and not almost, yeah, it's changing, but it's almost like um, not letting this female energy to actually lead. Yeah, we are more seen as the support rather than the leaders sometimes. Although when we think about our day-to-day challenges, especially for example mothers, when they think about their day-to-day challenges, they are managing, kids, the house. Like usually they are the kind of the core of the house, and it's a hard work, and it's like leading that, not supporting. It's actually leading that. So when you are in the workplace, you actually have the skills. Yeah, you have it all.
You have it all, but you don't realize it's a power and not a weakness. And I think the whole beauty is for the women to discover that it's a power to be in the feminine energy. That was very, very
Yeah.
powerful for me when I discovered that it can be powerful and you can make a business with the female energy also. And the female leaders are very successful and they're very inclusive and they lead teams in the very good way. And there are plenty of researches on that. So this is something which is obvious. Then it's also about the women and their mindset and how they can, and if they want to be leaders, this is also the question. And on which roles, based on which roles.
And you mentioned also about how bringing the both energies into business, into our day to day, can create more more balance. So how can actually leaders integrate these energies to create more harmonious but also productive work environment?
I think I deeply believe that to be a good leader, you need to know yourself well. So I think it starts with the self awareness and with emotional intelligence. And I deeply believe that emotional intelligence, together with the vision, are the two most important qualities for me among the leaders. And they can develop this feminine energy and emotional intelligence by being attentive and reflective and being curious and be willing to discover who they are and what are the emotions and what they are driven by, what is their purpose. This is when we really realize and we become inspiring leaders. And feminine energy is also a lot about listening and being empathetic. And I'm not saying that the men are not. I think they are. It's just that also the society sometimes didn't allow them to discover this part well enough, especially in Poland. So it's a willingness, first of all, to grow, to change. But to do this, you need to see that there is some issue or there is some challenge or there is some struggle. If you don't see any problem, it's difficult to be willing to change because there's no sense if there is no problem.
Yeah, that needs a lot of self awareness. Yeah, a lot of self awareness and emotional intelligence, I would say. So, if we focus on that topic, how important is actually emotional intelligence in leadership, and what strategies do you recommend for developing it?
I think it's one of the two most important things for me in the leadership, together with vision. Um, I think you can develop emotional intelligence thanks to being more attentive to your emotions, being more empathetic towards other people's needs, values, and their emotions. And you can develop your emotional intelligence and your self awareness thanks to, for example, making a journal every day. This is what I also recommend to my clients, to be reflective, to ask yourself how you feel, why do I feel the way I feel, where is it in my body. There is over, I think Brené Brown identified over 80 emotions. And I think an average person, it's proved that the average person knows less than 10. I think it's closer to 5. So it's all about naming them, identifying them, and accepting them. This is what makes us grow the most, I believe.
This is a lot about self awareness, yeah, to be actually aware what we feel. So how do you help your clients, the leaders, to become more self-aware?
So what I do often is I help them identify their thoughts. So what are the thoughts that are spinning around in their head? Then we talk a lot about the emotions. What are the emotions that are triggered by these thoughts, and which emotions are serving them and they want to see more of them in their life, and which emotions don't serve them. And this is the main game at stake, I would say, how our thoughts impacts our emotions, how our emotions impacts our actions. And this is the game changer for majority of my clients. And this is the biggest shift I'm seeing. I'm working a lot with visualizations and mindfulness techniques and neuroscience. So I find it very powerful. It was very powerful for me when I worked on myself, and I also do it with my coaches. And these techniques are helping them to really understand deep inside what is it that drives them, what is it that they're passionate about, what are their hidden dreams that they never dared to do, and why. And then we work on the limiting beliefs and the negative thoughts and what drives these fears. But the whole game is about accepting and identifying what you really are destined for, and then not being blocked by fear, but managing also the fear and the emotions around it. Feeling ashamed, for example, it's often the emotion among women, feeling refused, feeling abandoned, different negative feelings, and this is where we work, and we deblock them to be able to access our dreams, access our desires, access our goals in life. And it can be personal, it can be professional, and once they become, thanks to all of this work about values, what's important for them, emotions, thoughts, boundaries. We set boundaries to be able to reach those goals. And yeah, that's mainly the thing.
Yeah, you again mentioned the important topic, which is the kind of this balance between what we are destined for about our work and life, and general, I would say, fulfillment. So how do you balance your professional commitments with your personal life? And what advice would you give to others seeking this work life fulfillment?
I basically speaking, since I discovered my values, I started to live according to them. And my main values are freedom, initiative, and love. And this is how I adapt my calendar towards those values. And I adapt my work because work is very important for me, as it's one of my value. to be independent, to be fulfilled. So every day consists of a mix of values. Some day I have more activities towards job. Some other day I have more activities towards personal life. But at the end, it's about realizing what is it that is important for me and simply starting to live according to that and being grateful for that. And the other aspect is about emotions. So once you see that the emotions are not really the ones you want to have, there is a reason for it. And usually, in some cases, the reason are the thoughts that are just the limiting beliefs in our head from childhood or from the way we were brought up or from the education we got or from the environment we've been living. But other thoughts are related to our needs and our values, and this is what we need to identify, whether it's just some limiting belief or is a true fact, and I need to change it, and then I change it because I know if I change it, it's going to make me feel the way I want to feel, make me live according to my values.
Interesting that you mentioned values, because that's also the topic which is very important for me. And actually, my transformation, my continuation of the personal and professional growth started from the values. That actually realizing what are those and what is most important for me. But what advice would you give to women who are struggling to find their purpose in life and career?
I would say start listening to your heart and to your intuition. Start listening to your inner self. And the intuition is speaking in a very subtle way. We don't hear it. And with the noise that we are living around, especially when we are in the fast-paced world, we are very ambitious and career-driven. We don't hear this noise. We don't want to hear it. And so, first of all, start to feel and start to find time for self-reflection and to start feeling emotions. I would say also just start believing in yourself because you have nothing to fear. It's easier to believe in yourself once you really find this thing that you are passionate about. Then it's easier, but even though you don't, you can still start believing in yourself and do what you always dreamed about doing. And nobody else will believe in you more than you will in yourself. So this is, I think.
And if we come back to business for a while and the trends in women's leadership and support movements, which trends do you find the most promising?
I think there's two or three. Definitely, I believe that empowering women thanks to mentoring and coaching can make a big difference. But on top of that, I'm not here to make a split and division between male and female because I'm all for integrity and the unity. So it's all about inviting also the men to the table and making them realize what is happening, making them more sensitive to what are the challenges of the women. So I think those are the two things that I see the most promising. And there's also the networking that I find very crucial for women. There's plenty of organizations and associations. In Italy, for example, is the Gamma Donna association that I collaborate with that is really supporting women entrepreneurship. And in Poland is, for example, Sieć Przedsiębiorczych Kobiet, SPK, that is all about empowering women thanks to the meetings, because it's about connecting, it's about networking, it's about women helping women, because women understand women. That are the three things. So inviting men to the table, not excluding them, networking, and constant self-development alone or thanks to coaching and mentoring.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting, especially about mentoring and coaching and how much we need that. I have to be honest with everyone. I'm using a lot of coaching and mentoring sessions to just grow and get rid of my limiting beliefs, because I have it. I think we all have it, and sometimes it's very difficult to reflect that I have it like by myself. Sometimes I need like support from the outside and someone who will like help me to overcome those. But it's working somehow. I think it's working. And
I can see it with your
reflect.
podcast.
Thank you, Veronica. And reflecting on our conversation, what is like one key takeaway you hope our listeners remember?
Don't fear emotions. Just play with them.
For our listeners who would like to connect with you, learn more about your work, or work with you, where they can find you online?
You can find me on the LinkedIn under the name Weronika Jankowska-Tofani. You can find me on my website, www.thewomenleadershipacademy.com. And you can subscribe for the newsletter to get the regular inspirations on women leadership, not only. And there's also an Instagram account. So that are the places you can find me. And you can also set up a call if you want to get to know if it's something for you.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you for joining me today in this, I think, like inspiring and calming and empowering episode. And I hope that your insights will provide our listeners with the knowledge, but also the courage to be their true self as leaders.
Thank you, Beata, so much for having me here. It was a real pleasure. And I'm very grateful. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining me on another episode of Doing It My Way by Beata Matras. If you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe. Remember, this podcast is a dynamic journey and your feedback is very welcomed. Connect with me on social media. I would like to hear your thoughts, questions, and topic suggestions. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes. And until next time, keep doing it your way.